Welcome back. In our previous lesson, we have learned how to translate a client brief into a basic creative prompt. But today we are taking it to the next level and we shall unlock the power of the how part. We shall develop our first complete creative prompt with specific instructions to ChatGPT on how to generate ideas using the dynamic connection tool. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to generate powerful creative concepts and provide a flying start to your creative journey. It is here where the magic truly starts to happen. So let's dive into dynamic connection tool. We shall split this lesson in two parts. In part 1, you understand the concept of the dynamic connection. And in part 2, you will learn how to apply the dynamic connection as a prompt to ChatGPT and generate ideas. We shall start with two great creative examples from award-winning campaigns. And they have some things in common. The first thing they have in common is that they're both great activation ideas that brought about significant sales increase. The second thing they have in common is that both campaigns have won a Cannes Lion. Winning a Cannes Lion in the world of advertising is like winning an Academy Award in the movie industry. The third thing these campaigns share is a common thinking pattern upon which they're built. So let's see the first example. All Snickers campaigns are based on the insight that a hungry man is an angry man. When you are hungry, you can even misspell your own brand name like in this brilliant execution. Let's see the case study.
Snickers launched an advertising campaign in Australia in partnership with 7-Eleven that changes the price of the candy bar based on the
mood of the internet. And when anger goes up, Snickers prices go down.
Australia, get angry. Let's get those things down to 20 cents.
Introducing the Hungerism, a hunger algorithm that linked price to people's real-time moods. As anger went up, prices went down at every 7-Eleven in Australia. Built on a 3,000-word lexicon from MIT, the Hungerism analyzed over 14,000 social posts a day to determine sentiment. It even understood sarcasm and slang, and not just any slang, Aussie slang. Prices updated 144 times a day, and users simply clicked Get a Snickers on the Hungerism mobile site to get a 7-Eleven barcode. No downloading apps or printing required. That would have just made them angrier. Each new price had a backstory, whether it was a politician saying something utterly stupid, people losing their minds over a show, or a country breaking up with the entire EU. As prices dropped, fans were alerted via reactive social content.
There has been considerable fluctuation on the Hungerism lately.
Live in-store displays, and more. The Hungerism turned the price of a candy bar into something people actually wanted to follow. Even Reddit liked it, and they hate everything. By changing its price over 5,000 times in 5 weeks, one of Australia's largest chocolate brands created a massive social media and PR spike. But one stat mattered most, a 67% sales increase. And for the first time, You're Not You When You're Hungry was linked to real-world mood and real-world sales. Snickers Hungerism. The angrier the internet, the cheaper the Snickers.
Brilliant, isn't it? The thinking pattern behind Hungerism is called dynamic connection. It's a tool that works by establishing new, non-existing connections between two groups of variables. The first group is called internal variable. Internal variable is something that the brand controls. It could be price, discount, promotional prices, or experiences. The second group is called external variable. External variables are something that the brand does not control. It's more in the consumer domain. Here we have factors like time of consumption, social context, that is whether you consume it alone or in social setting, even outside temperature or mood of the consumer. The connection is called dynamic because a change in one variable causes a change in the other as well. In the case of Snickers, the internal variable is the discount that you get, and the external one is the amount of anger in social media. So let's see the second example. Do Black is the first credit card in the world that limits your spending not based on credit limit, but on the impact caused by your consumption.
In 2018, the United Nations released an urgent report emphasizing the need to cut carbon emissions in half by 2030, in order to avoid an irreversible climate crisis. The average consumer in Sweden causes around 10 tons of carbon emissions each year, of which 60% is linked to consumption. Later in 2018, Doconomy, a Swedish fintech, took on the challenge and launched Do. The Do app is connected to a credit card that enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint from each purchase and to compensate for its impact day by day. This spring, Doconomy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption.
As you have probably guessed, the internal variable is the credit limit, while the external one is the amount of CO2 emissions of the purchases. Connecting those two previously unrelated variables has led to this outstanding campaign, which won the Grand Prix at Cannes. So let me recap. The dynamic connection tool works by establishing new and existing connections between previously unrelated variables. Thank you for joining me, and see you in part 2, where we shall learn how to apply the dynamic connection as a prompt to ChatGPT and generate ideas.